Thank you everybody for coming out on this cold and blustery Wednesday evening. We're really fortunate to have Devamrita Swami coming to visit us again. Some of you saw him when he was here a few months ago when we did the little party in the other yoga studio. And as I mentioned last time, Maharaj is always very busy, traveling practically at breakneck speed around the world, serving and inspiring so many other people in the art and the culture and the science of Krishna consciousness. And so we're really, it's really a great opportunity for us to get him here in this kind of intimate, personal setting where you can take advantage of his wisdom. I advise everybody to ask questions if possible, and if there's time, and make the most of it. Please give a round of applause for David.
It's nice to be back in Los Angeles and see such an inspiring group that you have here of special persons. Why might you be special? You might think as an individual that you're special because you have a unique destiny in life. That the universe has a unique plan just for you. Well, let's look at things from the viewpoint of the ancient yoga texts, such as Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, the universe doesn't have anything really special for anyone. It's kind of a set menu with some variation within that set menu. The set menu is basically that you get a chance to dream of your fulfillment, and then you struggle with your mind and senses within this world, within this universe, for that fulfillment. The fulfillment actually never comes, and so then you take birth again to try the same thing, and you take birth again to try the same thing. So actually that's the set situation of the universe. Now, within that set program, there are some variations, of course. Someone can be more beautiful physically. Someone may be sharper intellectually. Someone may have more of this comfort or less of that comfort, more money or less money. But from the overall view of the cosmos, those things are just minor variations, you see. We don't really want to get hung up on those minor variations. We want to see the big picture. Let's try to think about that tonight, the big picture, and not lose sight of the forest because of the trees and the different leaves on the trees. We want to see the whole forest, the whole picture. What is the universe doing to us? You see, often we become so absorbed in wanting our fulfillment and indeed expecting our fulfillment that we don't keep an eye on what's actually happening. You see, what's actually happening is that as we progress from infancy to old age, we're having all these expectations. But we need to look at whether these expectations are being fulfilled in a way that actually satisfies us in a lasting way. We need to look at that rather than, you see, just get caught up in expecting. We have to look and see how the goods are being delivered, if at all. In my travels around the world, which I've been doing for quite a few decades, I noticed that many people think that the universe owes them something. You ever meet anyone who thinks that everyone owes them a favor? Many people think that it just has to be that way, that the universe has something waiting for you, and you're meant to uncover it. It's there, it's out there. Some special destiny. But if we strip away all the fantasies, if we strip away all the dreaminess that we have, we can more accurately look at the deal that we're getting. We can more accurately look at the hand that we're being dealt. And we can observe that although we have these expectations and longings, the fulfillment is not delivered. But we get so caught up in expecting and longing and dreaming. In fact, we feel we have a right to have what we expect. I should get this because I want it. This should come to me because I need it. I desire it. You see, this should be fair, right? Because I desire it, I should get it. Otherwise, why do I have the ability to desire something if I'm not going to get it? Right? So the fact that I'm desiring something, the fact that I'm able to desire something, should mean it's out there waiting for me. So maybe your parents, your friends, your relatives, they give you what has become standard advice these days. Just follow your dream, whatever it is. Pursue your hopes. We may become afraid that if we really look and see what's going on in existence, we'll become frightened. Once we strip away our expectations, our dreams, our hopes, and see what's actually going on, we might become heartbroken. Oh no, what am I going to do? You can't get what you want. Even if you think you get what you want, it doesn't last. And just for the privilege of trying to get what you want, even though it won't last, it won't satisfy you, you have to struggle so much. It's not simply that we struggle by working a job or going to school. In case you haven't noticed, you've got to go and get things. You've got to endeavor. When we read Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna explaining that work doesn't mean simply get a job and salary. Work means in this world you have to use your mind and senses to grapple with things, to get things, to acquire things. That is the struggle. Whether you're super rich or not, you still have to endeavor with your mind and senses to get things, to hook up. You know about today's hookup culture. Well, that's also a struggle. You've got to compete, and you've got to make yourself available. You've got to, reach your hand in the fish tank and try your luck. That's a struggle. It's just that there's some veil of illusion that doesn't allow you to see immediately that it's a struggle. Because after all, everyone's doing like this. Everyone's trying to get what they need to get by. So that should be an innocent thing, right? You're just trying to get what you need to get by. Whatever it is. What does the universe want out of us? What more can it expect from us? We just got to do what we got to do. We got to get what we need to get by and try not to hurt too many people in the process. It does happen, but that's unavoidable. It's life in the big city, But you try not to hurt anyone. That's the main thing. You try not to. If it happens, well, what can be done? So in this way, we push on with our life. Feeling that, yes, my ship will come in sometime. It's out there waiting for me. Now just think, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not out there waiting for you. Please don't have a heart attack. Maybe there is a point to our not getting satisfaction by our struggling to get what we think we want. Maybe there's a point. In other words, maybe we shouldn't be endeavoring. Maybe we shouldn't be struggling in this way. Just think. Maybe I'm meant to be doing something else. Maybe there's a higher way to live. So when we look at the Bhakti Yoga process, we find that it's nothing that a human being manufactured. No. It is coming from the source of all energies. In that way, we feel a sense of relief just by reaching out for something that doesn't originate from within the material experience. Just by your doing that, you'll feel relief. You're actually getting outside the box. Sometimes you may feel a little trapped. Trapped by your situation, trapped by debts, or trapped by social expectations, family expectations. Or you might feel even trapped by your own body and mind. Your own body and mind just box you in and make you do things that you can't get out of. So once you start to consider what actually is our situation in the cosmos, once you start to see it for what it is, there are different reactions that you can have. Number one, you might be scared. Oh no, is that the reality? I don't want to see it. No, I don't want to see it. Let me run for some intoxication real quick. Or let me do a crossword puzzle or something. Or you may just be defiant. I don't care that it's pointless and I won't be satisfied. I don't care. I'm just going to do it anyway. Can you ever remember feeling like that? So what? I don't care if it's not really going to make me happy. So what? I'm just going to do it anyway. I don't care that it's not really love. Who cares? Right? What do you want out of life? What does life want out of me anyway? There may be love, there may not be love, but anyway, you got to do something. Right? So that's the defiant approach. All right, life may be meaningless, but I don't care. It may be pointless what I'm doing. My struggles may all just be a waste of time, but so what? It's my life and I'm going to do what I want. You might even told your parents something like that. And they probably told their parents something like that when they were, teenagers. So, you can run from the reality by blinding yourself with intoxication. Or you can get defiant. I don't care. So what if that's the way it is? It's pointless. I don't care. I'll just do what I want to do anyway. Or you can start to really become reflective and think deeply. Maybe there's another way to approach this whole situation of life in the cosmos. Maybe I'm going up the wrong tree, driving up the wrong road. So those kind of persons who take that last approach, they're special. So it's not that the universe has anything special reserved for anyone. It's just that some persons become special by not taking the ordinary approach. And anyone can do that. Anyone can become special just by driving up a different road. That option's available to everyone. It's not that the universe has something special reserved. No, the option to drive up another road is available to anyone. Everyone can opt for another approach. So you might say, well, what? Then why doesn't everyone do it? The matrix of illusion is very intense. But just the fact that you are here means you've chosen to be special. You've taken a road that is provided by the universe for those who want to really be conscious and aware and go to a higher level. But anyone can do this. Just like here in this room, we have persons of all different backgrounds and walks of life. Ordinarily, you probably wouldn't associate with 90% of the persons in this room, right? But because of seeking to march to a different drummer, here you are. rubbing shoulders, so to speak, with persons who you might ordinarily not. There's something greater than all of us that's bringing us together. We shouldn't be afraid to think deeply about our life's options. Yes, of course, we have to maintain the body. We have to live, but live for what purpose? Are we living simply just to stimulate our physical senses? That gets so boring, as you know. It's just like watching television nonstop, hour after hour. Simply catering to your senses, your sense stimulation, it just gets boring. So you want something to titillate your mind, but that, nothing material will give your mind the relief it needs. You know what it's like when your mind just feels scorched. Where do you get relief from having a scorched mind? And then there are these longings we have for fulfillment, emotional fulfillment, physical fulfillment, social fulfillment. When you look at it, our situation accurately, we're really very needy creatures, right? When you go to your workplace or to your school, you just see all these needy persons milling around or rushing here and there. And they all have needs that haven't been fulfilled. Therefore, they have varying degrees of hope or anger. That's what you're dealing with every day in your social relations, whether they're romantic or friendly or family relations. You're dealing with various degrees of hope and anger. Those of you who may be in relationships or have been in relationships, you can notice this. You're dealing with another person who's projecting at you hopes and angers. Hopes that this could be better, and anger at being let down in the past, or maybe even being let down right now by you. And then you got your own hopes and angers. And so you're kind of like just aiming these hopes and angers at each other. Trying to sort something out. Well, if you'll accept my hope, I'll accept your anger in this case. And then in another case, if you accept my anger, then I'll accept your hope. And it's all sorts of trading going on, right? It gets so complicated. Because we're needy. We have physical needs, we have mental needs, emotional needs. But suppose all that is actually superfluous, it's actually unnecessary, it's not the main thing. Those who drive up the different road, they start to realize that. And this different road is what Krishna presents in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the handbook for getting out of the matrix of illusion and attaching yourself to the all-attractive ultimate reality. It is possible. Now you do have to be a bit heroic. But I'm not talking about the kind of hero that you think is totally impossible for everyone to be except for very few. No, the kind of heroism that Krishna and Bhagavad Gita asks for is something innate, it's something there in every human being. The ability to just look at life honestly and say that just because I have hopes and expectations doesn't mean they're going to be fulfilled. And maybe it's not good anyway that they're fulfilled, because maybe what I'm hoping for or expecting is not the best for me. You might remember when you were a little kid and you had various hopes and expectations, but your parents told you that what you're hoping for and expecting is not very important, or it's not the best for you. So, no matter what our age is, we're like little kids in the universe. And so in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining to his children, his parts, that, you know, playing the material game is not the best for you. So are we open to hearing that? Sometimes it takes people countless births, countless lifetimes to stop playing the game. You may even realize, as I pointed out before, that the game is not worth it, but still habit energy drives us on. As I said, the defiance. Well, I know it's not worth it. I know it's not going to work out. I know I'll never be satisfied. But anyway, I'll just do it. Right? It's my life. It's my party. We are really stubborn. So how to be a hero? Yes, it's within the capacity of everyone in this room to be a hero, a genuine hero. Not a sports hero or a military hero, but a hero in the best way and the most needed way, by sorting yourself out in terms of your real identity as spirit soul, part of the Supreme Soul. Heroism begins with that. Because your body and mind try to put so many trips on you. That's what makes you so unnecessarily needy. It's the body and mind that we're falsely identifying with. Your body and mind are like just bundles of needs. They're always pushing priorities on you. Can you feel that? How your body and mind are pushing priorities on you? You need to do this. You need to feel that. You haven't had this, so you need to get it. All the time, your body and mind are pushing these needs on you. When I say the mind, that's including the emotions. You haven't felt a certain way in a long time. Don't you think it's a good idea to start feeling those things again? Yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I felt that way in a long time. Wow. So by misidentifying with the body and mind as a self, you get a completely unnecessary and artificial agenda. On your laptop, on your iPad or iPhone, you may, have a to-do list. So when you identify with the body and mind as a self, automatically a to-do list fills up for you. Oh, you think you're the body and the mind? Well, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that, you need to do that. And you can go on ticking the boxes when you think each one's complete, but there's always new items that appear on the list. You spend your whole life ticking the boxes. Didn't I complete that task? Didn't I complete that one? It goes on and on and on. How do we get off this treadmill? So what Krishna is offering in Bhagavad Gita is a positive alternative. Yes, it's very good to understand that you are misidentifying with the body and mind as a self, but you can't live negatively. You need positivism. Okay, if I'm not that, then what am I? How do I be for real? That's the question. Wouldn't you all like to be for real? Would you? Have you ever looked someone in the eye and said, I'm for real? How many have done that? Raise your hands. Did you really mean it when you said it, or was it just a line? Who can say it? Come on, someone say it. Anyway.
Just a line. Oh, man.
Huh? You meant it.
Yeah.
When you just looked her in the eye and said, baby, I'm for real. Anyone else? Or maybe you just said it because it's the socially expected thing to say. Huh? Yes? You did that, huh? Yeah. It's just part of the game, right? So, when you said it, did you feel like a hypocrite, or you just felt that, this is just what you're supposed to do in order to cope? You just felt like that's just the way the game's played, huh? Anyone else?
About realism or the whole
about
anger thing?
No. You're looking in someone's eyes and saying, I'm for real.
Oh yeah. With questions in the mind, in the back of the mind though. Not limited to just hope and anger.
No, I'm talking about.
But yeah, within the realness. But it's until the until the questions are answered, then we see.
Let's just focus on this point here, that there seems to be some kind of premium on saying you're being for real, and therefore you say like that, but can you really mean it? It often seems like we should just say those kind of things just to keep the wheels of social progress turning.
It's a quest for the truth. Right?
Let's be very personal. Just see yourself looking in someone's eyes and saying, I'm for real. Now, when you say that, what do you actually mean?
I'm telling the truth. I'm telling you the truth, as I know it.
And what is that truth that should be so profound that it, really makes such a huge impact, a huge difference? What's that truth? You say, I'm for real.
I think it's more like saying that you can trust me. You can trust what I'm saying.
Why?
I believe I'm telling you the truth. I believe I'm telling you the truth, so I want you to trust me.
But have you ever thought about why someone should really trust us? Do we really trust ourselves? We can't control our mind and senses.
Right.
But here you are saying to someone, I'm for real, trust me. Watch my lips. Remember the president said like that during his campaign, watch my lips, there'll be no new taxes. Read my lips. Then as soon as he got elected, raise the taxes. So what are you going to say? Read my lips, watch my lips. I am for real. Now we have to show some sympathy for ourselves. You know, we don't know. We don't know what is our identity. We don't know why we're in this world. Yet we're trying to be for real. Compared to what? So either you can run away from this puzzle, or you can become defiant, or you can accept it and start to work with it. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is giving you the tools, he's giving you the skills to work with this situation that you want to be for real sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you want to be for real, but you don't know how. Imagine saying that to your friend, to your lover, to your whatever, your family member. You know, I'd like to be for real, but I don't know how. Wouldn't that be an honest thing to say?
What does real mean?
Yes. Good question. But still, even though persons can't answer that question, they want to present themselves as... You never had anyone present themselves to you as being for real?
Yes.
So how did you react?
I usually think he wants to force his opinion on me.
By saying that he's for real.
Yes.
So then how do you respond? No, you're not. How do you respond?
I will say nothing.
You say nothing.
Yes.
And then, so what will he say then? Do you believe me?
Usually just walk away.
So every time someone comes up to you or approaches you or interacts with you and says, I'm for real, you just,
Yeah.
you ice them.
No, I don't really focus on what they say. Yeah, like I will see into the situation and judge for myself.
But you're skeptical.
Maybe.
Well, that's, skepticism, to a certain extent, is a sign of intelligence. But, you know, that you got counterfeit money is unfortunate, but it also lets you know that real money is somewhere. So counterfeit experiences are unfortunate, but they do indicate to you that there are real experiences somewhere. So what Krishna is doing in Bhagavad Gita is introducing you to the real experiences so you can be for real. What is real? As Krishna explains, that which has no beginning or end is for real. All right, so look at your body. Does your body have a beginning and end?
Yes.
So then, according to the strict standard of reality that Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita, your body is not for real. It has a beginning and end.
Well, birth and death are for real.
Just wait, just listen.
Right?
Just listen. So,
You gotta know.
when you understand that there's an energy that has no beginning or end, the spiritual energy. You see, Krishna has two different types of energies, material energy and spiritual energy. Eternality. As long as we're operating on the platform of things that have a beginning and end, we're going to be frustrated. And that's why we get angry. That's why we don't trust people. That's why we're skeptical. I've heard this one before. And you may even think you're being sincere now, but what about tomorrow? Because you've seen that things end. So think about it. That which has beginning and end is actually not real. In order to understand that statement, you have to know about the other energy. The energy which has no beginning or end. Then you can compare. Otherwise, how can you be for real? Compared to what? What are you comparing to? Reality has to be defined in relation to something. So the Krishna conscious person knows how to see both temporariness and eternality side by side, because they actually all come from the same source. Now you may say, if temporary things come from Krishna and eternal things come from Krishna, then what's wrong with the temporary things, because they're all coming from God? That's true, but even though they're coming from God, you shouldn't be basing your hopes on it. You should be basing your hopes on what has no beginning or end. So you have a choice to get caught up with the temporary stuff or focus on the eternal stuff. Even though both the eternal and the temporary come from the Supreme. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am the source of everything, both material and spiritual. But you're not supposed to be absorbing yourself in the material, even though it comes from Krishna. You're meant to be absorbing yourself in the spiritual. So your body and mind give you a choice. You can either see them as temporary dresses or temporary equipment that you can use under guidance in your quest for the eternal, or you can look at your temporary body and mind as just ends in themselves, and this is it, the body and mind. We should just get into that and just be it. And so the genuine yoga system teaches you how to use the temporary, such as the body and mind, in order to achieve the eternal. That's being for real. Therefore, even temporary things of this world, material things, even temporary relationships, can all be used for the purpose of connecting to the eternal, if you're following the proper prescriptions under guidance. You can use even illusion to uncover the reality. That's the ingeniousness of what Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita. It's like, in order to chop down a tree, you take an axe which has a handle made of wood from the tree. So you use the temporary to reach the eternal, because both the temporary and the eternal come from the same source. So this is the reality that the yogis see. How to use that which is temporary, how to use even the material in order to attain the ultimate destination. That's being for real.
But if there's no temporary, then there won't be eternal.
But there is temporary. But it's not what you should be going for.
Yes, but after realizing the eternal thing, there's still temporary. So
Yes. But you don't base your life on the temporary. It's there. Just because it's there doesn't mean you have to dedicate yourself to that.
but how do you know the eternal is eternal if there's no temporary thing to compare with it? After you achieve eternal, then there is still a temporary thing you need to compare with.
You see they're related in that they are both the temporary and the eternal come from the same source. They're related. So you're not intimidated by the temporary anymore, because you see both the eternal and the temporary come from Krishna. If I know how to deal properly with the temporary, I can use it as a springboard to attain the eternal. What do you think about that?
Still missing a hold.
So let's consider how to be a genuine hero. It's not really so much about making intellectual gymnastics. It's about understanding our core purpose in life and being able to separate our temporary and illusory hopes and needs from what is the real self. We've got some work to do. Our real job in this human form of life is to become enlightened. And that's the quest for everyone. It's not like some special or rare thing in the universe. It's meant to be business as usual. But it's just that people are so distracted these days that it seems the journey of self-discovery, the quest for enlightenment is just something very odd and peculiar and done by very, very special persons. But actually it's meant to be as common as apple pie. So just think about that. You could easily be a hero by understanding the science of the spirit self, the science of spiritual pleasure, the science of Krishna, the all-attractive reservoir of pleasure. You could be a hero. And by your activities, you could inspire so many others who see that you're being brave and having integrity and being genuine, being authentic, so they should also. It's such a luxurious feeling to be authentic through and through. That's what you all want. All right, any questions? Yes.
What's you're talking about material and spiritual energy?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between the Kundalini energy that you feel in your body raised up? Is that spiritual energy or is it material energy?
That's subtle material energy.
That's subtle material energy?
Yes.
So it's not spiritual energy yet?
No.
Like, can you feel spiritual energy in your body or just subtle material energy?
Yes.
To feel, to perceive the spiritual energy, you need purified senses. When you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, you're actually experiencing the spiritual energy and the source of the spiritual energy. Remember, energy has a source. But you cannot experience the spiritual energy with material senses. You see, underneath our material senses are spiritual senses. When our material senses become purified, like when you clean a windshield, then there may be mud on the windshield of your car. When you clean it, you can see clearly. So similarly, our senses and our mind are like windshields that haven't been cleaned. So therefore, we can't experience the spiritual reality without some cleansing, some purification. So the Kundalini thing, that's subtle material powers. Yeah. But if we're not material, then what is the use of subtle material powers? Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question? Now this is a good one, isn't it? One question now.
I've got two actually.
One.
You know, I'm like the most hopeful person on earth, but there's a couple of things that kind of, you know, I guess, for lack of a better word, anger me. Yeah, for one thing, first, did you hear about like Obama's new?
Okay, just
law
ask
about
one question, make it
horse
short now.
slaughtering? I mean, he actually allowed he opened up the meat, horse meat, slaughtered horse meat for human consumption. What do you think about that, morally, ethically, or whatever? Because, you know, I mean, it is a temporary thing, but it's got like repercussions that go on. And then the other thing is, like, have you ever seen like a beheading, like a video of a live beheading where they like infused the, you know, the weaponry and the singing even all in one
Which
video.
question do you want me to answer?
Whichever you prefer.
Okay, you're asking about horse slaughter. Okay. The genuine yogi feels compassion for all living entities, whether horses, chickens, cows. So it's not that the genuine yogi singles out a favorite species of life and says, let them live. During the Roman Empire, when the gladiators were fighting in the Roman Colosseum and the emperor was watching, and so the gladiators are battling, and one gladiator is about to die, and so everyone looks at the emperor who's watching from his throne in the arena, and if he gives the thumbs up sign, the gladiator's life can be spared, but if he goes, so we're kind of like that in the way we deal with other species of life. Cats, dogs, horses, cows. But why not be merciful and compassionate to all species of life? Why? Because all species of life have the spirit soul in them. And so we want to minimize our violent interactions. Otherwise we'll never have peaceful consciousness. We'll never be able to be for real. So whether we're eating or doing any kind of activity, we don't want to unnecessarily cause pain. That's the first principle of the genuine yogi, to be for real, to be authentic. Not that I live and you die. Just think about that. If you're still a meat eater, that's actually it may be buried underneath, but that's that attitude that it's actually an unconscious sense of power. These creatures have died to nourish me. It's an ego trip. My life is so important, and all these countless creatures I'm eating, they're unimportant. Let them die. What a satisfaction of my tongue. Bizarre, isn't it? Especially, contemporary nutritional science will tell you, number one, you don't need to eat flesh, and number two, it's not even healthy for you. But still, that's okay. Just the fact that you'll die. Nourish me. It's a real ego trip, isn't it? What do you think? Any comments on that? What do you think? It's bizarre when you think about it, My life has meaning because others have been crucified for my sake of my tongue. I don't even need to eat these things in order to live. In fact, it's bad for my health, but just the fact that creatures have died for me. But yes.
How do we conquer the mind and make it our best friend?
A sound vibration is very important for that. It's sound vibration that has enslaved your mind. And it is sound vibration that will free your mind. So that's why we stress the Hare Krishna mantra. It simultaneously cleanses the mind of contamination and attaches your mind to the ultimate reality, attaches your mind to Krishna. The more you understand who and what is Krishna, the more you become attracted. We crave authentic attraction. When we contact something that's authentic, it attracts us authentically. So we feel so enlivened. We feel happy, truly happy, attracted by something authentic. You can only be for real when you're thriving in contact with something authentic, then you can be for real. Let's see if someone else has it. I appreciate your eagerness.
How do we find that vibration?
The vibration of
With the mind, like you were talking about how you can make your mind your friend.
yeah,
Resonance.
yes. Oh, the sound vibration. Yes. That sound vibration, the Hare Krishna mantra, is especially potent when it's vibrated amidst those who are very sincere and authentic in their lifestyle. So you find an association, a group of persons with authentic lifestyles who are living cleansed or purified lifestyles, and you'll find that the mantra vibration will be especially potent. Yes, thank you. Very wonderful question. Anything else? All right, what shall we do now?
If you like, we're gonna have some more kirtan.
That vibration in which all the parts connect to the Supreme Whole.